Hi everybody, do you like ride on? So why don't you ride on these Nuzlocke journey with us? And this time, I'm gonna do a hardcore Nuzlocke on Pokémon Violet where I can only use water types and electric types. Also, remember last video when I said that I was gonna do a run with all the types in Scarlet and Violet? Well, this is run number 2. And this is how it's going. Not great so far, but I guess we'll manage. Here are the rules that we're using in this run. It's going to be considered done when I beat Turo. And a reminder that all my encounters will be shiny because I love sparkly things and I need some sense of achievement somewhere in my life. I do have to say that I'm not gonna hunt them in this run. They are already pre-hunted because I used a roulette wheel to randomly pick each encounter per route. So with that being said, let us just start this run. So we start the game naming our character Water.
Water for to drink.
Because at this point, I was just out of creativity. Why, you ask me? Well, I'm glad you asked. As you can see here on the screen, this is my 3rd run. Because all the Nuzlockes that I've done so far, I always had a fire type Pokemon that I could use against the 1st and the 2nd gym. This was the first time that I didn't. And guess what? I wiped on the 1st gym and also on the 2nd gym. So now I actually start a run that goes further than that. But before, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, our adventure started. We got our starter, who obviously is a Quaxley, and we named him Chickens. Then on our way to give our favorite Cock and Balls dragon his sandwich, we got our Pokepath encounter, which was a Pommy that we named Avocado.
It's avocado! Thanks!
Great! Now that we have this encounter, we give the sandwich, we kick Arven's ass, we get our next encounter, which is a Turo named Fresh Avocado.
A new thing called Free Shavakadu! Free Shavak!
We kick Nemona's ass, and then we get the intro done, and we're finally free to explore. The first badge on the list is the Gug Gym, and on the way there, we get him a Reap, and we name them Hello.
Hello?
After learning my lesson from the first attempt, I am more prepared for this battle, so I give Chickens the Adamant Mint and also a Sharp Beak to hold, and then I went to the battle. Just a quick note, because this is attempt 3 and I'm using the same shiny Pokemon that I used on the other 2 runs, they won't be shiny until I get to the same point as my last run, which was the 2nd gym. So bear with me on that.
Mom, they following me, Mom. They following me.
Who followed you?
The bugs.
The bug!
Now, these are the moments that I get mad at myself, because this was a very easy battle. I set up my Quaxley with 2 workups, and then I just one-shot everybody with Wing Attack. Now, with our first badge under our belt, it's time to go to the next stop, which is the Rock Titan. And once we get to South Province Area 3, we caught Shinx, our next encounter, named him Tortilla.
Whoa! Hurricane Katrina! More like Hurricane Tortilla!
Then I gave Fresh Avocado a Mystic Water, and on to the battle we go. It's honestly not worth it to get too much into details, but basically a bunch of Terra water guns were enough to take this crab out on the first and also on the 2nd phase. Now, at this point, we are finally back at the same point I was in my last run, so I am able to bring all the shiny Pokemon back. Before that, we get a Watro, named it Croissant.
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant.
We had all the pieces we need for the next gym. Also, a bunch of TMs such as Reflect, Sunny Day, Fire Fang, to really get ready for a battle that was quite hard, but we ended up winning anyway.
If they have an anime profile picture, then do not trust them unless if it is Naruto, because Naruto is not an anime, it is art.
So this is how we did it. Because I learned my lesson, Croissant now knows our cutter, and he's able to take Petilil out and Smoliv out pretty quickly. Now, Sudowoodo comes in and that's where the problem starts. So I decide to switch into Hello to be able to set in a Reflect. Now, I tried to paralyze Sudowoodo first, it doesn't work. I got more damage, but it ended up working out anyway because of static. So next turn, I set the reflect up. So I'm able to tank the next hit, and then I switch into Tortilla for the next part of the strategy, which was basically setting up Sunny Day. And then a few Fire Fangs were able to finish the Pseudo Wudo finally. And also, do not forget to get your Oran Berries, people, because an Oran Berry saved me in this run, okay? Oran Berries are great in the beginning of the game. So now we have 2 Gym Badges and 1 Titan Badge. Our next stop is the second Titan badge, the Flying Titan. And to facilitate my life and make all this easier, I walked all the way to After a Saddle Desert onto Porto Marinada to get Thunderbolt, teach it to Hello, and then we got to the battle. I decided to start using Reflect first, just to block some damage. And then because of the lucky paralysis and a few thunderbolts and a final rock throw, we finished the battle. And also that means that we can now walk on water. Our next stop was the Dark Base, but before that we got our next encounter, which is a Barboach we named Anime.
Don't fuck with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side!
Wait,
So after preparing a little bit, it's time for the Dark Base battle.
Okay, here we go. This one goes out to the birthday girl. Make some noise!
So against Giacomo, I decide to start with Chickens, who's able to one-shot Poniard. And I was just ready to kick my way through the win. But that half of room took not a lot of damage, which I didn't understand why. But I guess that's okay. So then I send in Croissant, expecting to do something. But then Croissant takes a snarl as he comes in. And then in the next turn, he gets crit by a Wicked Torque. Anyway, then I send in Chickens back, and I decide to set up with a workup, but then I get hit with a pair of Metal Sounds, and dealt a little bit of damage with Low Sweep. So I decided that it was time to change because of all the debuffs. So I send in Tortilla, who gets hit with a Snarl, and then luckily Havavroom miss a Metal Sound. And then Tortilla deals shit damage with Spark, and in the next turn gets hit with Wicked Torque. So after dealing a little bit of damage again with Spark, I decided it was time to change. So I bring Chickens back in, who takes a Snarl, and then next turn takes a Wicked Torque, and it's able to deal a little bit of damage again with Low Sweep. So then I switch into Avocado, who is finally able to finish this fucking battle with 2 arm thrusts. Oh my god, this was so annoying and took so long. We win this base battle. Next up is the preparation to deal with Nemona and also Yono.
Trauma. Rage and trauma. Rage and trauma. PTSD. PTSD. Trauma. Post-traumatic stress.
Here's the next encounters that we got to prepare for this next battle. We got a Tadpole and named it Richard.
What the fuck, Richard?
And then we evolved him into a Bellyboat. We got a Moraine, and we named her Beef.
I smell like beef. I smell like beef. I smell like...
And then we got a Magikarp and named her Vodka.
2 shots of vodka.
So now, after preparing and getting some levels, it's time to battle Nemona.
To make a long fucking story short, I put a whole bag of jelly beans up my...
It's the Chickens using Terra Aqua Cutter Sweep. Now, it's the ever so feared battle with Yono. And because I am on my VGC player era, I prepared a team, I had a strategy, so I was scared, but I went for it anyway. Now, the true diva, icon, and legend of this battle is Richard. Who now knows Mudshot, Thunderbolt, and Light Screen. So I sent him first and was able to one-shot Water with Thunderbolt, 2-shot Luxio with Mudshot, and 3 Mudshots were enough to take her Bellyboat out. Now against Miss Magis, Richard survives a weak Hex, thank God, and then I'm able to set a Light Screen. Then I switch into Avocado, who is now a beautiful Palma, who knows also Brick Break, and takes her out with 2 Brick Breaks. Honey! Okay, you fucking...
Sucking dick and cock.
I won. No one died. Work. So now the battle's over. I won against this gym, and I can finally unclench my booty hole. And it's time to prepare for the next battle, which is the Fire Base. And in the way there, we get a Psyduck named Duck as our next encounter.
Hey, Duck. You're no good, Duck. You'll never be shit. You're just like your father.
Bitch, you gonna step on my fucking toe, bitch, with them fucking cowgirl fucking boots, bitch, disgusting.
Against Miss Boots, I decide to send in Duck first because of Cloud9 to negate the effects of the sun. Then 2 Terra Water Pulses are able to take this Torkoal out. Now, because Psyduck took a lot of damage, I decide to switch into Vodka, who's now a beautifully evolved Gyarados and deals a bit of damage with Bozos. The sun ends, and then I am able to deal some damage with Waterfall. Luckily, this big car misses a Screech, and then Vodka gets burned the next turn, having its damage, as you can see here. So it's time to send in Frishavakadu, who finishes the battle with 2 Rock Tombs, winning us another Star Base. Honey, okay. You know what time it is now. I know you know. Everybody give it up for the dildo Pokemon!
I'm friends with the monster that's under my bed.
Because I am on my VGC era,
Liza Minnelli, lies.
I thought my Avocado bulk up. So he uses bulk up 3 times, and then a Black Belt powered Brick Break is able to finish Earthworm in the first battle and the second battle because I used the same strategy for both battles. With another Titan badge under our belt, being able to jump higher, it's time to prepare for the Water Gym. On the way there, I got my next 2 encounters, which were a Buzzle, we named Vroom Vroom.
I'm in my mum's car. Broom broom. Get out of my car! Aww.
And the Wiglet we named Roommates.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Now having a fully evolved Ampharos holding the covered cloak because
Trauma.
I am ready to tackle the next gym. Miss Hello was sent first. I Terra into Electric, and then I use Reflect to reduce any damage, and then a Thunderbolt is able to one-shot Velusa and then Wugtrio. Now against the Crabominable, there was a chance for a Speed Tie, and I was very scared because the likelihood of him just erasing Hello was too much, and I needed her for the future, and I guess everybody knows exactly where this is going.
Guess what, bitch?
We win this Speed Tie, okay? And then we one-shot with Thunderbolt. I know y'all shady bitches in the comments were thinking I didn't, but I won. I took a risk there, I am aware. We won. But we won! But Divas, we won. We absolutely smashed it. And now it's time to prepare for a battle that tends to be very annoying or a mess in other Nuzlockes that I watched, which is the Poison Base. Because I have a Gyarados, I decide to maybe use a strategy that some Nuzlockers would say it's some sort of cheating or too easy, but I don't agree, so I got Dragon Dance TM so Vodka can destroy everybody.
I should have left you on that street corner where you were standing. But you didn't!
As I said, my plan is to go with Gyarados, so I send her out and use a Dragon Dance, avoiding a Sucker Punch. Then the next turn, I Terra Water, use another Dragon Dance, got hit by a Toxic, but I was cured by my Petra Berry because I was ready, honey. Then after getting hit by a Sucker Punch, Vodka is able to take Skuntank out with 1 Terra Waterfall. Next is Muck, and then I have to set up another Dragon Dance, taking some damage from a Sludge Wave, but then I'm able to one-shot it with a Terra Waterfall. Then a Bodos is enough to take Miss Vroom Vroom Car, Charlie XCX, have a room out, and then now it's time for the Starmobile. So I go for another Terra Waterfall that deals a little bit under half health, and then I get hit by a Flame Charge, which didn't do much, but got a speed boost, which means that in the next turn, the car would outspeed Vodka. So I decide to go for a Bodos, taking the speed back, So then in the last turn, I can outspeed and not die, which is what happens. And then another waterfall is enough to finish the battle. And this is the least messy battle that I had against this person. So go us! Now it's time to prepare for the normal gym. And the interesting part of this piece of any Nuzlocke is that you get a kind of big jump in level cap, which means a lot of Pokemon evolve during this time. So we caught our next encounter, which was a Voltorb named Trey.
Hi, my name is Trey. I have a basketball game tomorrow. Well, I'm a point guard. I got shoe game.
And as expected, a bunch of Pokemon evolved, including this one, which explains why roommates is such an incredible idea. And also this one. Oh, you know exactly what's gonna happen now, honey.
The hurricane. Katrina! You gotta watch that. Here comes the hurricane, bitch. 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 Oh! Katrina!
Hee hee. Battle time. For this battle, we now have our beautifully evolved chickens. And then I thought chickens bulk up and brick break. So I set up one bulk up and then I was able to both one-shot Kamala and the Dunsparce. Then in comes Staraptor and his Intimidate debuff. And that means that Quaquaval won't one-shot anymore. So I decide to Terra him into water to lose the weakness to flying, and then 2 brick breaks are enough to finish this battle in the easiest time without losing anybody, and I was really happy. Now, without even letting us breathe properly, it's another battle with Nemona right after this one. At least our Pokemon are healed. It's another chicken sweep using bulk up and damaging moves. Flop! And now it's time to prepare for the next gym. So we got a few encounters. I got a Finizen named Chrysler.
Happy Christmas. It's Christmas. Merry Crisis. Merry Chrysler.
A Magnemite named Calculator.
What the fuck?
And an Aracuda named Raven.
Happy birthday, Raven!
You know what? Quaquaval is such a good Pokemon. I love using Quaquaval. I think Quaquaval is very cunty, very samba, very carnival, reminds me of home. I love using this Pokemon. The shiny version is really cool. You know, I'm so happy that I get to use my starter so far in this game. And I Shut up! Nobody says anything. Nobody, I don't want anybody saying anything. Will I ever have a starter Pokemon alive until the end of a Nuzlocke? Anyway, it's time to fight the Ghost Gym.
Who's there? Nobody, fuck off!
For this battle, I decide to start with Vodka and Frishivakadu. Then I Terra Vodka into water just to make sure that I get less damage if eventually he gets hit by an electric type from Toxtricity. Then after the priority moves of the first turn, Vodka uses Dragon Dance, of course, and Frishivakadu is able to one-shot Banette with a Black Glasses Strong Jaw buffed Crunch. So then the Omniboost happens, which honestly makes me think that we didn't really need a Dragon Dance strategy for this battle. But anyway, I mean, it's better to be safe than sorry. So Vodka breaks Mimikyu's disguise with Waterfall and Frishivakadu is able to one-shot Houndstone with another Crunch. Then another Omniboost, more buffs, then Vodka is able to just destroy this Mimikyu with a Terra Waterfall, and Freshivakadu just destroys Toxtricity with a Crunch. And this is another easy battle, to be honest. Generally is an easy battle because all these Omniboosts that we have. But let's just celebrate anyway, because honestly, a win is a win. And then we go on to our next battle, which is the Ground Titan.
I saw you hanging out with Caitlyn yesterday.
Rebecca, it's not what you think.
I won't hesitate, bitch.
For this battle, I prepared a very innovative strategy that is very unexpected. I did 2 dragon dances, and then I one-shot the first battle with a waterfall, and then for the second battle, 2 dragon dances, and then a waterfall. But Arven's Clavell finishes the battle with a fire fang. See? Different. Innovation. News. New things. Club. Another club. Another. Now we can glide. And then it's time for some more encounters. And we got a love disc named Country Boy.
Country boy, I love you.
And then a Taxo named Peanut.
Oh. Does it feel good?
What we have to do now are 2 battles, one after the other. First is Nemona and then the Psychic Gym. So we get our team ready and go battle Nemona.
Hi, I'm Renata Bliss and I'm your freestyle dance teacher.
Honestly, I think at this point you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send in vodka for a Dragon Dance sweep, which means that after 1 Dragon Dance, a Mystic Water powered Terror Waterfall one-shot literally
My life is
everyone. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the best minigame on this game. Did we have fun? Isn't it so fun? Isn't it so fun? I love having fun. It's so fun. I love it. It's great. Anyway, on to the gym battle.
You know when you and your friends take a picture, then you look at it and you're like, ugh, I don't look great in this. What's that like?
Honestly, again, I don't think I have to say what strategy I used. Basically, after winning the calcs, I only needed 2 Dragon Dances to sweep everyone, but because For a Giraffe used Reflect while I was doing that, I needed 2 more to overcome that, and then from there on, it was just a clean sweep using crunches and a waterfall. Listen, I understand that this strategy makes everything easier, but I'm not the best Nuzlocker in the world, so let me just celebrate that I'm doing great so far. Anyway, Ice Gym.
You guys say Colorado.
Now listen, I know this is shocking, but I didn't use the Dragon Dance strategy this time. But what I did do was sending in Tortilla first, holding the charcoal, so my Fire Fang would be powerful enough to just one-shot this Frostmoth, so it doesn't use Tailwind. So then in comes Arctic, and my plan here was to take it out with 2 Fire Fangs because he could live 1 Earthquake, but... I understand I took a risk that didn't pay off, but that's fine, because then I send in Avocado, who defeated everyone with Black Belt powered close combats. Can I have some commotion in the room for how good I'm doing on this Nuzlocke? Next up is the ferry base, and on the way there we caught our next encounter, which was a Pincurching named Beat.
Anything for you, Beyonce?
So now we are ready to go to the battle. I just do not know how to explain this, but every time that I win this battle, I do feel a little bit homophobic. Like I just committed a hate crime, you know?
Hey, you okay? Yeah, just lately I haven't been able to think straight. Balls. 2 guys holding hands. Dude's butt. Clay Aiken.
So for this battle, I decided to use Calculator holding a Metal Coat, who is now fully evolved into a beautiful Magnet Zone. First up is Azumarill, who goes down with 2 Flash Cannons, and then Calculator is able to one-shot Dashbun and Wigglytuff with 1 Flash Cannon each. So then it's the Starmobile, and I was ready to finish this battle quite easily because the first Flash Cannon Calculator hit took a bit over half health. But then, this motherfucking car confused Calculator, and then Calculator hit itself in its confusion. And then, Calculator missed the Flash Cannon next turn! So then, because Calculator was low in health, it was time to switch. And then I decided to send in Beef, who is now a beautifully evolved Toxapex. And then she got confused as soon as she entered the battle. But thankfully, nothing bad happened. A few Venoshocks were enough to finish this battle, and we finally win. Gay rights and gay wrongs. So now we're on to our final Titan battle. In the way there, in the lake, I got my next encounter, which is a Slowpoke, and I named it Dire Kill.
We all die. You either kill yourself or get killed.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
After swimming a little bit, we find the little dude that says Titan, and on we start with this battle. The first phase was pretty simple. A magnet-powered Terra Discharge from Calculator was enough to one-shot Dondozo. Now for the second phase, I brought in Richard, who was able to double-shot Dondozo with 2 Thunderbolts. Now against Tatsugiri, I set up a light screen after getting hit by a very strong Muddy Water, and then I brought in Avocado, who was holding a Muscle Band to increase his damage, but then he gets hit by a strong Dragon Pulse and misses Play Rough, getting hit by a very strong Muddy Water, almost killing it, so it was time to switch it out. Luckily, Greedent dealt some good chunk of damage while I was switching in and out of Pokemon and getting hit, which allowed us to bring in Vodka, who was able to finish this little fucking sushi fish with 2 crunches. The good thing about this part of the game is that I can finally climb on walls, and I can also buy mints to change the natures of my Pokemon, which I do, and change the nature of a few of them to boost their damage output. So the next thing on the list is to get our 2 last encounters for this run before we go into the fighting type Starbase. And they were a Raichu I named Rat,
Is it real?
and a Vaporeon named Maya.
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion!
So basically, what I was thinking of was, oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
Again, with the innovation, I didn't use the Dragon Dance strategy with Vodka. What I did instead was use Chrysler, who's now a Palafin, to use Flip Turn and switch into Avocado. Why, you ask me? Because Avocado now knows Baton Pass. And what I was supposed to do is to use 2 Bulk Ups, but he ended up taking too much damage, so 1 Bulk Up was enough, and then I used Baton Pass and sent Palafin back with the attack boost. From then on, Acrobatics was enough to take Toxicroak, Passimian, Annihilate, and Lucario out, having a few lucky rolls to be honest. And then 2 Acrobatics were enough to finish the car off, but we won. Okay, strategy. Okay. So this means that we now have the 18 badges of this entire game. And that is really cool because I think that's the best I've done in a Nuzlocke on this game to date. So I'm kind of proud of myself. And now are the most challenging battles against Clive and Elite Four and so on. And also, fun fact, I was watching a bunch of Nuzlockers online on YouTube and I found out that majority of them do the Clive battle before the Elite Four. So they are not over leveled when they come fight Clive, which I think was smart. And I did the same. So for this Nuzlocke, we're gonna start with Clive. Before I continue, I just wanna say to everyone that all my finales that I do on stream, I always have a character or I'm in drag or something, so I highly recommend you to follow me on twitch.tv/watershiny_, so you can go there and be part of the entire run and see the backstage of it. So now we have to battle Clive, who... Oh my god, is that Clavell? Oh no, I wasn't expecting that. What a surprise.
I brought you frankincense. Thank you. And I brought you myrrh. Thank you. Murder. Judas. No.
I had a whole strategy plan with, you guessed it, Gyarados and Dragon Dance. So there goes Vodka because Oranguru generally starts with Yawn. So I decide to set up Dragon Dance. And guess what? Foul Play. Ooh, Foul Play is not a go. Whoop. So yeah, change of plans. So then I sent in Maya expecting another foul play, but this bitch decided to use Reflect. Maya is able to take a good chunk of damage out of Oranguru with Muddy Water, but then fall asleep. So then I decide to keep her in the field to stall the Reflect, as my heavy hitters are all physical attackers. But then I forgot that Oranguru has Dream Eater, so he's not only able to almost kill Vaporeon, but also heals a chunk of HP. So then I decide to switch into Avocado, expecting another Dream Eater, but guess what happens? It's another Reflect. So then I decide to Terra Palmot and go for a double chalk so I don't lose the electric type when I use the move. And I get hit with a Yawn. And because I need Avocado alive for the rest of the battle, I decide to switch into Beef, who thinks a foul play, protects against Yawn, but then gets hit next turn. And finally, I'm able to take this Oranguru out with a Venusaur. The next Pokemon is a Gyarados, and I decide to keep Beef to see if he wakes up, but then gets hit pretty hard with an Earthquake. So then I decide to bring in Vodka for the Intimidate, expecting an Earthquake, but I don't know what's going on with this AI predicting my every move. And thank God for the Intimidate, because Gyarados used a Stone Edge. So at this point, I was a little bit out of options, and I needed Avocado in the field safely. So my only option was to sack Maya. Okay, this was by design. We had to sacrifice Maya because I need to bring in Avocado safely. Okay, we killed Maya. Oh no, I killed a Vaporeon. Cancel me, I don't care. So Avocado comes in and then finally one-shots this Gyarados. Now next is a Abomasnow, No, and that's the moment that I realized that I forgot to teach Avocado close combat to one-shot, but it ended up working in my favor because Abomasnow No set Aurora Veil, and my second Brick Break was able to break the Aurora Veil and take Abomasnow No out. And also because Avocado is now an adamant nature because of the Mint and is holding the Black Belt, he's able to one-shot this Houndoom with a Brick Break, and then Poltergeist goes down for a single double shock, and then in come Miss Kitty Cat Meowscarada herself. Now, because Avocado will not survive this cat at all, I send in Calculator, who is tankier and is able to survive a bunch of hits, and finishes her off with 2 Metal Coat powered Flash Cannons. But I won! Okay! Okay! I won. The next stop is going to the Elite Four. So we get in, and after doing the interview, do you think I'm gonna say no? Do you think I am stupid? Do you like Pokemon? Do you? Of course I like Pokemon, you fucking bitch. Of course I like them. Or else, why the fuck would I be here? Why the fuck would I spend so many hours making them battle and just traveling everywhere? Of course I fucking like fucking Pokemon. Ugh. Let me in. Let's battle. Oh my god, so much fun.
I'm friends with the mom.
Are you ready for another groundbreaking strategy? Pun intended. Well, it is a Dragon Dance sweep. Yes, you're right. I know. So anyway, that's the first Elite Four battle. Next up is Pokemon's representation of things they do in animes all the time, which is this overpowered child that it's like overpowered. So Avocado was the one for this battle. I gave him Air Balloon to avoid any and all Earth-type moves that eventually could hit him. And then it was a close combat to take Copperajah out, and then she decided to bring in Brown Song. So I decided to Terra Avocado into Electric to remove the weakness to Psychic, and then 2 low kicks are enough to take him out. But we do take some damage from a Zen Headbutt and lose the Air Balloon. Now Magnezone comes in, and because luckily he always sets Light Screen first, I go for close combat and then leave him with 1 HP, and then a low kick finishes the battle. And then a double shock is enough to take Corviknight out, and a close combat finished the battle taking Tinkaton out. Okay, Palmot! So the next battle is against Larry, and to make it as easy as I could and avoid damages, anything risky, I made a few changes to the team. So Palmot now knows Rain Dance and Baton Pass. So then Vroom Vroom can be set up, come in, and destroy everyone with Ice Spinners. Let's see how that turned out.
Hello, 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 hello.
So Avocado goes first and sets a bulk up while Tropius uses Sunny Day. And even with Chlorophyll, Avocado is faster, which caught me off guard. So he ends up setting the ring first. So I do have to stay in and take a Solar Beam while setting another bulk up. So then it's Baton Pass time, so Vroom Vroom can come in while Tropius sets the Sunny Day. So the plan kind of like went away. Anyway, we were able to take Tropius out with an Ice Spinner because Vroom Vroom was also faster even with the sun. And then from there on, it was basically a clean sweep with either 1 or 2 Ice Spinners against everyone, giving us another easy win. And then I didn't even need to use the Dragon Dance. See? Growth. To be honest, I still cannot get over this man's hair design. Preparing for this next battle, I gave Vodka Outrage, Ice Fang, and a Lumberry, so I can avoid the confusion whenever Outrage ends. And then I can optimize my damage output by doing what? Dragon Dance! Exactly, you guessed it. On to the battle.
Joke today. Anal with my girlfriend made my whole day, but it made her whole week.
Sorry, class.
So as expected, Vodka goes first and Noivern uses Super Fang as I did my first Dragon Dance. So the next turn, because of the buffs, I'm able to outspeed it and then one-shot it with Ice Fang. So now it's time for the Outrage sweep, or at least I hope so. So against Rugauji, I use Outrage, and Outrage is a physical move, which means it has a chance of activating Poison Point. And guess what? Oh motherfucker, I wasn't expecting a Poison Point, no! It gets activated, which means my Lumberry is going to be used. In one hand, this is good because I avoid any chip damage in the future of this battle, but in the other hand, this is bad because I cannot cure confusion. In any case, I was able to have a guaranteed one-shot into Haxorow's next turn, which happened, and I'm happy because Haxorow's, in my opinion, is the biggest threat here. So we got lucky and got a third Outrage hit that was able to one-shot Flapple. Now here comes the tricky part, because I cannot risk it with Vodka because I will need him for other battles in the future. So I decide to send in Richard, who has the ability Static, hoping it would activate and paralyze Excalibur, which doesn't happen. So two things happen here. One, I had to sacrifice Richard to bring back Gyarados. Two, I realized that I forgot to update the sprites of the Pokemon in the team, as you can see here in the video. Now, because of Glaive Rush and Gyarados being naturally faster than Excalibur, Vodka is able to just one-shot it with an Outrage, winning us this battle that was harder than it should have because of a little bit of an RNG bad luck. 4 battles down, 1 more to go, which is the top champion, Miss Hair.
My poop is coming!
I sent in Chrysler and immediately changing to Vodka for the transformation, and after taking 1 hit on the switch, I was ready to 1-hit KO with a crunch. But I take another hit next turn. No, 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 no. Woo! Oh, that was too close for comfort! And this is Patra. Almost dies, but it doesn't die. So great. I had to pivot my plan a little bit, and then I sent in Beef, who took a lot of damage, more than I was expecting, but I didn't have any other better choice. So guess what? I had to let Beef go to send in Palafin, fully transformed. As a wise man once said, thank God for
priority moves.
I was able to take her out with a Jet Punch. Next up is Gogoat, and because I was prepared and had acrobatics, I was able to take him out with 1 hit. Against Avalugg, I decide to switch into Calculator, who has 30, so if by any chance any 1-hit KO move happens, she's able to take it, which doesn't happen because she uses Body Press, and then Calculator is able to take him out with 1 Flash Cannon. Next up is Velusa, who also is taken out with 1 shot, but it's a Magnet Power Discharge. Then is King Gambit. And then I decide to switch into Hello, that takes a bunch of damage on the switch, but it's able to set a Reflect on the next turn. Now, because there is not a world where I can safely bring in other Pokemon without sacking Hello, I decide to stay and do a little bit more damage with Power Gem, and it's bye-bye to Ampharos. Very helpful team member, got us through a bunch of battles, but it's time to let her go. But good thing is she leaves King Gambit paralyzed due to static. So it's time for Avocado to come in and take this bitch out with a close combat. The next one is Glimora. Palmot would not survive any attacks, so I decide to switch into Vodka to hopefully avoid a Nerf power, with Gratefully happens, and then I am able to finish this Glimora out with a Terra Water Waterfall. Finally, we won. Bitches, we won. So this means there are 4 more battles to go until we win this Nuzlocke. And at this point, I'm a little bit nervous because last Nuzlocke, I was already given up by this time. But now I have a true chance of winning this. So I was scared, anxious, but I was also ready because I strategically strategized my next battles. Okay, so now it's time to battle Arven. Oh, Turo, why do you have to be an AI robot in a video game and not my husband in real life? Anyways.
Well, when life gives you lemons.
This was a very hard battle. Okay, who am I kidding? I used 3 Dragon Dances and then it was a clean sweep with Terra Waterfalls. Now, because I don't want my Pokemon to become overleveled for the Turo battle, I decided to box a few of them. And it's on to battle Penny.
Chris, is that a weed?
No, this is a crayon.
I'm calling the police!
911, what's your emergency?
First up is Umbreon, and I send in Chrysler. I decide to flip turn out of the gate so I can get some damage on the transformation, and then I bring Fresh Avocado that holds leftover. To be able to get some chip damage out of every Pokemon, I decide to set a Stealth Rock, and then I took Umbreon out with 2 liquidations. Next up is Leafeon, and I switch into Toxtricity, who's able to tank 1 hit. Next turn, Poison Jab deals a lot of damage and poisons Leafeon. And because one more poison turn would take him out, I decide to stall that turn by sending Calculator in. Next is Flareon, and I decided to keep Calculator and Terra so I can take the Fire Weakness out, and then I'm able to do a bunch of damage with Terra Discharge. And then Flareon ended himself with a Fire Blitz, so good for us, I guess. Next up is Vaporeon, who dies to a one-shot discharge. Jolteon. I decide to keep Calculator again, kinda expecting to lose her, but she lives with 2 HP. So I take that as a sign, and after a little damage with the Flash Cannon, I switch her out to Vroom Vroom, that is holding a berry that reduces super effective electric type moves, but Jolteon misses a Thunder. So next turn, Jolteon uses Baby Doll Eyes, gets hit with a nice spinner, then for some reason goes for another Baby Doll's Eyes, and then almost dies to a Crunch. So again, thanks to priority moves, I'm able to take Jolteon out next turn with an Aqua Jet. Now comes her ace and Pokemon's trans rights representation, Sylveon. I decide to switch into Toxtricity, ready to lose it to a Moonblast, but he's able to survive it. So I try to go for a Poison Jab, but Sylveon has Quick Attack and I forgot, and it kills Peanut. So then I finally send in Chrysler, and I go for a Jet Punch that deals a bunch of damage, and then she goes for a Baby Doll Eyes. Lucky for me, I equip my Palafin with a White Herb that recover those stats back. But then next turn, she goes again for another Baby Doll Eyes, but it wasn't enough to tank the Acrobatics that finished the battle. Now, I cannot get over the fact that she's like, what? You were Director Clavell all this time? Like, oh my god. Like, bitch. Now we have 2 more battles to finish the Nuzlocke. And the next one is against Nemona. Last Nuzlocke, I lost my Nuzlocke here at this point. So girl, when I tell you that I was nervous, I am not lying. And also, I couldn't use a few of my best Pokemon because I didn't want them over-leveled for the Turo battle. So we got our best and went for it.
Gonna bring me a birthday gift on my birthday to my birthday party on my birthday with a birthday gift. Happy birthday.
For the first time in this Nuzlocke's history, I finally get to use Miss Raven. So while I set up a focus energy, Lycanroc sets a Stealth Rock. So then a crit Stardust boosted Drill Run is able to one-shot Lycanroc and Palmot. And then against the Dunsparce, I'm able to hit a crit Drill Run that deals a little bit under half health. And then Raven gets hit hard with a Hyper Drill. So at this point, I don't have much choice but to sack Raven, and that's what I do. So this was the first and the last time I used Raven. So I send him Vroom Vroom, and he is able to take the Dunsparce out with a liquidation. So next up is one of my favorite Pokemon, Earthworm. Then I decide to switch into Dire Kill, who's able to take Earthworm out with 2 Surfs. The next Pokemon is a Goodra, and I decide to switch into Vodka, who takes a bunch of damage from Stealth Rock and then Dragon Pulse. And because this little bitch has Ice Beam, I decide to Terra Water to try to avoid it and take it out with an Ice Fang, but she avoids it and almost kills Vodka. So back to Vroom Vroom we go, and she takes a bunch of damage coming in, and there wasn't a world where I would be able to safely switch into another Pokemon, so I decide to keep Vroom Vroom to do some damage and sack her. Next, I send in Frishavakadu, who's finally able to take this Goodra out with a Crunch. And then, 2 liquidations are enough to finish Skeledirge, and we finish this battle, which means that all 3 roads are finished and we are ready to head into Area 0 and go for our last battle. So this was the first time that I got to this point in a Nuzlocke in this game. So super excited to get there and a little bit afraid because I had to battle the Pokemon on Area 0 who are really strong. So it's time to continue with the story, and into Daddy's dungeon we go. A bunch of things happen, story, killing Pokemon, and all of that, and we get to the lab. Something about meeting a man in an abandoned place reminds me of something. Nah, just my imagination.
So I'm sitting there, barbecue sauce on my titties.
So the battle starts, and Turo starts with Iron Moth. And because Vodka now knows Earthquake and is holding a Choice Scarf, I'm able to outspeed it and one-shot it. Next up is Miss VGC herself, Iron Hands. So I decide to keep Vodka and Terra Rudder to reduce part of the weakness to Electric, and I'm able to take him out with 2 Earthquakes, and then 1 Earthquake is enough to take Iron Thorns out. Against Iron Bundle, I thought 1 Earthquake would be enough, but it wasn't. It left him under half health, and he took my beautiful Vodka out. So then I did a little bit of a risky move and sent in Avocado, risking some damage there. But lucky for me, Iron Bundle goes for Snowscape, so I'm able to just finish him with close combat. And also, thank God I gave Avocado the White Herb, so he can recover the defensive stats that he just lost. Next up is Iron Jugulis, who goes down for 1 double shock. And now it's his last Pokemon, Iron Valiant. So I tried to do some damage with Palmot, but he got one shot with a Spirit Break. So then I sent Chrysler and immediately switched back into Free Shavakadu for the hero transformation. And then here goes again the AI predicting my moves, and he uses a Brick Break on Free Shavakadu, who tanks a hard hit. I was ready to let him go the very next turn, but because of the friendship system, he's able to survive with 1 HP. So then we were able to do a little bit more damage with Rock Slide, which is great. So he goes down next turn, and it's finally time to bring in Chrysler and Jet Punch our way to the win. So did I win? I think I did. Okay. Wig snatched.
This is amazing. First off, I have to thank God.
Word? Dude, I didn't really help you out at all, but I appreciate the shout out for sure.
And that is it, everyone. My first actual win of a Nuzlocke on this game that I went until Turo. Like, this is insane. I am happy that I finally got this win. And then when I reflect on things that I did better, I think I was much better this time on thinking which moves were going to set up my Pokemon for success. I got lucky because, you know, water types give me access to strong Pokemon like Gyarados. And also, I did calcs on which moves and attacks and which strategy I should use in each battle. Even though some of those strategies failed, most of them worked, right? So I am better at this. So I would just like to say, VGC, honey, you better watch out, honey, okay? Okay, honey. Thank you for watching, though.